upbeat, storytime style intro music fades out. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a really complex family situation to discuss, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one. So let's get right into it. A woman, let's call her Sarah, is 34 and currently finalizing her divorce from her 40-year-old ex-husband. She has a 3-year-old daughter with him, and he has 2 older daughters, 13 and 10, from a previous relationship. Sadly, their mother passed away, and Sarah has known them for about 6 years. The custody arrangement for their shared daughter is pretty flexible. Officially, it's every other week. But since their daughter is only 3 and doesn't fully grasp the situation, they let her decide who she wants to be with. This seems like a thoughtful way to handle a tough transition for a little one. However, this flexibility is about to create a major conflict. Last Friday, when her ex dropped off their daughter, he had a big question. He told Sarah that his 2 older daughters also wanted the same freedom to come over to her house whenever they felt like it, just like their little sister does. Sarah thought about it and gave him a firm no. She explained that if they needed something, they could always call or text her. For anything really important, they could schedule a time to meet. But spontaneous, unscheduled visits or stays, that was off the table. Her ex was confused and asked for her reasoning. Sarah laid it all out. First, the girls themselves have made it very clear over the years that she is not their mum. Second, her entire life and schedule are now built around her 3-year-old daughter, not his older kids. And third, she simply isn't prepared to take on the responsibility of 3 children by herself every other week. It's a lot to handle, and it wasn't part of their post-divorce agreement. Well, as you can imagine, this didn't go over well. Her ex must have told his family and his late wife's family, because soon Sarah's phone was blowing up. She was flooded with calls and texts, with everyone calling her cruel. They argued that her divorce from their dad shouldn't mean she cuts the girls out of her life. Trying to find a middle ground, Sarah offered a compromise. She suggested a dedicated girls' day out once a month, where she would spend a full day with them from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on a weekend. But this wasn't enough for them. The family hung up on her when she refused to let the girls stay overnight. The situation escalated just a few days later. On Wednesday, her 3-year-old got sick and was crying for her, so Sarah went to her ex's house to pick her up. When she arrived, she found his 2 daughters standing there with their bags packed, begging to come with her until Sunday. Sarah stood her ground and said no again. She explained the practicalities. She wasn't going to take them to their school and manage all the extra stops and responsibilities that would involve, especially while caring for her sick toddler. The girls got very upset and started crying, accusing her of being mean and saying their families were right about her. At this point, Sarah had to be blunt. She reminded them of the many times they had said mean and hurtful things to her, including repeatedly stating that she wasn't their mother. She told them she wasn't going to complicate her own life just to make them happy, especially after how they'd treated her. For what it's worth, Sarah's own mum completely supports her decision. Her mum even said that she wouldn't babysit the older girls if Sarah did take them in because they have been disrespectful to her as well. So, what do you all think? Was Sarah right to set these firm boundaries, or was she being too harsh on grieving children? Let me know your take in the comments below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.